Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is April, the artist behind InvokeArtSense. Now this time I have invested in a good light tripod to hold my phone, so now you guys can see better. I couldn't really ever record a video with the canvas, painting on canvas. This is the second painting that I'm working on using Surrealism Elements, and I just started the basic shaping, blocking in of the shapes. And these are my sketches that I did. Look closely. This is a coffee cup with the dolphin that I added, which ended up being added to that canvas, that picture. And here's a dolphin with wings in the potion bottle with the crystal, and a goldfish here. And so this is the sketch I'm using that I incorporated into this canvas right here. And let's show you. So she doesn't look like much yet. She actually looks very, well, she's supposed to be looking like she's in shock. That's the whole concept, like she's turning around in shock and panic. But there's going to be a lot more, of course. This is like the top of the whipped topping of like a coffee, iced coffee that I saw when I was at Jimmy's Eggs. So right here, there's one behind her, and then of course here's like kind of a unicorn with the whipped topping, and here's the dolphin with the fin right here, and it's wrapped around her, wrapped around this whipped horn here, and a goldfish here, and then the cup that I had, except for this guy's not on the cup, but it's on her whipped topping or her whipped horn. And then there's a hole in her chest right here, which is what I'm going to put the dolphin with the wings right here, and then goldfish that are, you know, swimming towards that hole. As far as what she's going to look like, but I don't know fully what she's going to, like, maybe she's going to stay. I think I want to add some different like a shirt option, different things. I don't know yet what kind of design her clothes will be, but this is just the basic starting point. Of course, I had to add pink, and there's a moon back here. So let's get started on this. And my setup has changed a little bit. So now I got my iPad next to the canvas, so I can use this iPad for references, etc. And I don't have to, like, you know, because I'm recording, so I can't use my phone. And then of course here's my easel with my brushes, and I'm using this right here for my palette, and my Orderless Minerals here palette. I don't do anything fancy, foil on my palette so I can keep it nice and clean and throw it away once things are dry. And then this is what I recently got from Temu, which is actually a very good find. It's a rolling little like organizer where you can actually add your sketchbooks, anything, watercolor palette right here, and down there as well, paints too. But I would say it's better for like definitely your watercolor paper or any kind of paper, sketchbooks, using acrylic or water, you know, water, and then kind of bringing it to you wherever you're working at, and other brushes. So this is also what I'll be using. Let's talk references in sketching. Is it important? Yes, it is very important. Even if you're super talented and you don't have to look at anything to draw anything. And even then, I think all the super talented people, they are super talented because they built experience by drawing in their sketchbooks and practicing. And so they've built up muscle memory to draw a dolphin, for example. Even if your goal is to draw stylized like this, you still have to look at references like this dress I found. I'm using Pixabay, which is free to use their images, and I found this dress. Now will I use it? It worked while I was painting. So I like to look at references before, during, after, throughout my whole process. And I'm looking at this portrait of this girl. not exactly in the position I need her to be, but it's helping me with the depth, with the colors of the skin tone and other things like that. Because if I just go for it, which I could after I had so much experience, and maybe a lot of experienced artists do that without looking at references eventually, but you, for me and for many artists, using references is important throughout the whole process in painting. For example, I looked at a dolphin to draw that dolphin, and I sketched before I combined all these elements together. And of course, and then I'm looking at the lady and doing the lips while I'm looking at the lady, because it's it's going to help you in your final painting to look like it's supposed to be, not out of place, balanced in your composition if you are using references. It's even for the eyes, for where the highlights go, where the shadows go, and that. And all, I even use my own art for references, as you will see later. Actually, right now, I'm using my other painting that I just finished as a reference because I spend so much time on that, so I can use that as my reference for like how I did the shading, how I'm doing the eyes. And of course, you can get inspiration from other artists, of course. But, you can't just copy something that someone else has done. But you can get inspiration from other art pieces as far as how they use their colors and what their color compositions are. And by the way, I love the hair. I'm going with the pink and yellow thing. So pink at the top, yellow at the bottom. Now, as far as the hair, I didn't quite get what I was going to be doing with the hair at the top, but eventually at the end, I did look at a reference to figure out the bangs. But so far, I'm not really sure what I'm going for yet. But as I'm laying my colors down, it helps for me to look at my sketching that I did to figure out what I'm going for as for my elements, my surrealistic elements, and then also my color placement. But this is still the beginning phase. I'm looking at my sketching that I did here. So that's another important thing that you can do to help your process along. The goldfish I did sketch, my memory, and we can sketch, we could draw, we could paint from our imagination, but our imagination isn't really going to translate the same on canvas or on paper unless you use references, unless you have that super talented and you've been doing this for a long time and you built a lot of muscle memory. But that still takes time. So use your references, use your sketches, because you spent time on that, and definitely plan something out. I like to do, like small little sketches like this. I'm not really sure where the sketches are going to end up being, but it does help to get that process, get that critical thinking process done, and your composition and what your final outlook of your painting will look like. And I'm already loving it because the centerpiece ended up being, yes, I wanted it to be a whole, but I took the sketch I did, I had like a little like corals in the middle of the sketch. So I took those coral pieces and I added it to the bottle. So now it looks like a heart. And then I added the bottle top too. And probably I will paint a crystal as a stopper later. So right now it looks more like a heart, but you never know what's going to happen until you finish the painting, because a lot can happen from your start to the end of your process. You can change elements, add elements, different things. It's like the best part of like the painting is the process. And so I'm mostly finished with this video. Thank you for watching, and join me for the next. I am going to be doing a lot more things. I also have art prints, I have originals, and I will have a holographic epoxy acrylic keychain available soon. I got it custom made, and then I will also have 3 stickers available on my Etsy store soon. So stay tuned for that. And I have a 20% sale on going on right now on my Etsy store. So check that out. And I look forward to seeing you guys for the next video. Thank you and goodbye, and see you later. Bye now. You just gotta be